The vulnerability of the U.S. power grid creates a danger for all of us. No one else is talking about this danger, which could send America spiraling back to the dark ages. With me now, retired Lieutenant Colonel and Senior Intelligence Officer Tony Shaffer, who is also a Senior Fellow at the London Center for Policy Research and Director on the National Commission of Intelligence and Foreign Wars. All right, Colonel, thanks for being with us. We know from the past few weeks that the grid can be damaged in two ways. One, natural, and the other more sinister, a terrorist nuclear device. Right. You have worked on weaponized technology for Defense Intelligence, our Defense Intelligence Agency. Should this happen, what would be the consequences?
It would be catastrophic, and as you've been mentioning regarding the Benghazi report, they've said that was preventable. So would be preventing the damage to the grid if we play our cards correctly. There's two categories. You're talking about solar flares, which could create conditions to take out not necessarily just cities. We're talking about regions or entire countries, and the same sort of thing can be done, Judge, using a nuclear device of a certain class and a certain explosive effect. So these are real things. These are scientifically based. These have been proven, and we have our own weapons that can do this.
Okay, and should this happen, what would the consequences be? Tell us.
Oh,
I mean, some
huge.
people think just the lights go out and everybody has a party, and there are more, 9 months later, a lot more people are born.
In 1977, you had riots in the street because of the grid going down. We're talking about catastrophic failure of a whole region where even the military cannot come in. The effects of Sandy, the effects of city not having any power, any water, any food. Everybody now has food that they have to buy at the store. Imagine if no food can get in for months. We're talking about if you do this during the winter months like right now with power going off, no power, the elderly, the young and the sick will all be dead. We're talking about a 20% reduction of population over a 6-month period with no power. This is not, again, science fiction. This is real. And again, it's also preventable.
But what about the whole idea as survivalist? I mean, you would basically, if you can't get the food, then you would have to be able to grow your own food, cook it. I mean, civilization as we know it would be over.
Right. This would be a civilization-ending event, at least for a period of time. And again, Judge, the military can't come to your aid if the military itself cannot function. These attacks, this EMP, electromagnetic pulse, will take out anything with a computer or microelectronics. That means cars. That means vehicles which are not hardened will be down. That means those first responders and police and military who normally would come to the aid will be trying to take care of their own issues. So that's why this is so potentially catastrophic. No one can come help us.
All right. We had former Secretary of Energy, Bill Richardson, on last week, and he talked about a balkanized system of power companies, that are private. I mean, they do a public service, but that, you get the sense that no one's really monitoring them and they're fighting off regulation. Talk about that, if you would.
Well, yeah, you have the good guys and bad guys. You got the NERC, the National North American Electrical Liability Association, who actually is not working for liability, they're working for profit. They're the ones allowing this balkanization to continue. They got the FERC, the Federal Electrical Regulatory Commission, actually trying to do the right thing, Judge. They're trying to regulate and make sure the standardization is made. Again, you can standardize certain types of transformers, of standards that will prevent a catastrophic event.
Is that being done, Tony?
Because of lobbyist money, a lot of members of Congress are not doing their job. There's been the GRID Act, the SHIELD Act, both of which I've worked with members of Congress to try to get passed over the past few years, have been prevented consistently. This is not expensive, and this is technology necessary to prevent the catastrophic failure of our grid. Again, Judge, this is something that could be done, should be done, or else 3 or 4 years from now, we could be having this conversation about, we knew we could stop this, we failed to do it, and yet here we are talking about it.
All right. Well, the consequences, as you say, would be catastrophic.
Absolutely.
Tony, thanks so much for being with us this evening.
Thank you, Judge.
All
Thank you.
And coming up, one of the most shocking videos you'll ever see, terror on the streets. That one's next. And it's your last chance to vote in tonight's Instapoll. If Benghazi was preventable, should it derail a 2016 presidential run for Hillary Clinton? Facebook or tweet me at Judge Jeanine.